Let's get right into it. Number 10. Brass doorknobs on old buildings. Old hospitals and public buildings are covered in brass doorknobs. Most people grab them without a second thought, but those doorknobs weren't chosen because they looked fancy. They were chosen because they kill things. Brass and copper are toxic to bacteria. When a germ lands on a brass surface, the metal starts attacking it almost immediately. Within a couple of hours, the bacteria is dead. Scientists call this olignomic action, a fancy way of saying the metal poisons microbes. A doorknob is basically a handshake between you and every single person who touched it before you. The sick person from Tuesday morning, the guy who sneezed into his hand on Wednesday, all of them waiting for you. In a hospital from the 1800s, that doorknob wasn't just an entrance. It was a frontline defense against infection. Modern buildings switched to stainless steel because it looks cleaner and costs less. But stainless steel does absolutely nothing to bacteria. A germ can survive on a steel doorknob for days. On brass, it's dead in 2 hours. So, every shiny modern door handle you touch is basically a germ hotel with a permanent vacancy sign. The old buildings had it figured out. We just stopped paying attention. Number 9. Champagne bottle punts. Look at the bottom of a champagne bottle. There's a deep dent pushed up into the glass. Most people think it's just there to make the bottle look fancy. It is not. Champagne is basically a glass grenade sitting on your kitchen counter. The pressure inside a champagne bottle is around 90 pounds per square inch. That's 3 times the pressure inside a car tire. Without that dent, the flat bottom of the bottle can't handle the stress. It finds the weakest point in the glass and pushes outward until it shatters. Razor-sharp glass flying in every direction. Before modern bottles were perfected, champagne cellars were basically war zones. Workers had to wear iron masks because bottles were randomly detonating around them like tiny bombs. Some cellars lost up to 90% of their stock from spontaneous explosions. The dent at the bottom, called a punt, distributes the pressure evenly across a curved surface. A curve handles pressure way better than a flat surface. It's the same reason submarines are round, not square. That little dent is the only thing standing between a celebration and a trip to the emergency room. Number 8. Paint blue porches. In the American South, you'll see older homes with their porch ceilings painted a very specific shade of pale, washed-out blue. They didn't pick it from a paint swatch. They picked it to keep ghosts out. The color has a name, hint blue. The word haint is old Southern slang for a wandering, malevolent spirit. The belief came largely from the Galajichi people, descendants of enslaved West Africans. They believed that hints could not cross water. So they painted their porch ceilings to look like water, hoping a spirit would float up, see what it thinks is a sky reflected in water, get confused, and leave. But it worked. Not on ghosts, on insects. The original blue paint was mixed with lye and other compounds that repelled wasps and spiders from building nests in the ceiling. The people who painted their porches to confuse evil spirits accidentally invented pest control. The tradition spread so widely that generations repainted the same color because their grandma did and nobody asked why. Today, paint companies sell official hint blue colors. The Supernatural has a product line now. So, next time you see a pale blue porch ceiling, you're looking at a ghost trap that actually works. Number 7. Why park benches have armrests in the middle. Those middle armrests on park benches aren't for your comfort. They're there to make sure nobody can lie down. It's called hostile architecture, and it's everywhere. A homeless person needs a safe place to sleep. A park bench is flat, long, and sometimes covered from the rain. So, city planners added a metal bar right in the middle. Now the bench is useless for sleeping. The city just quietly installs the bar and calls it a design choice. It's a decision made to target one group of people hidden inside something that looks completely normal. And it's not just benches. Those metal spikes on window ledges are not decoration. Those slanted surfaces under bridges are not an accident. Those sprinkler systems that go off at 3 a.m. in public doorways are not a malfunction. All of it is designed to make certain spaces uncomfortable for certain people without ever saying it out loud. This design also targets teenagers. Those metal studs on flat ledges near public plazas are called skate stoppers, installed specifically so skateboarders can't grind on them. If you're doing something a city doesn't want you to do in a public space, there's probably a piece of metal somewhere designed to stop you. You just never noticed it because it looks like furniture. Number 6. the secret language of sidewalk utility markings. You walk over them 1,000 times a day. Those random squiggles and arrows spray painted on the sidewalk. You probably assumed it was graffiti. It's not. It's a secret language. And once you learn it, you'll never see the ground the same way again. Before anyone digs, they have to mark what's buried down there. If you slice through a gas line with a shovel, your day gets a lot more exciting. So workers spray paint a code right on the surface. Blue means water pipes. Yellow means gas lines. Red means electric power lines. Green is for sewer and drain lines. And orange means telecommunications, like a fiber optic cable. You're standing on a complex lasagna of infrastructure. The color code is standardized, so a worker from another state can immediately understand what's buried beneath them. It's a universal language where the main phrase is, "Don't cut this, or you'll blow up the neighborhood." The arrows show the direction the line runs. The numbers tell you how deep it is. That's not graffiti. It's a treasure map where the treasure is a pipe full of flammable gas, and the only thing standing between you and a catastrophic explosion is a can of spray paint. Number 5. The secret history encoded in street name suffixes. Street, avenue, boulevard, lane, court, drive. You think these are random words slapped onto a name. They are not. Every single one is a compressed history lesson. A boulevard was often built on top of a demolished city wall. The word comes from the German Boulevard, a defensive fortification. You're driving on what used to be a wall built to keep invaders out. An avenue originally led toward a grand building or estate, often lined with trees that acted as landmarks, telling you something important was at the end of the road. A lane was a narrow path between two fields, barely wide enough for a cart. If you live on a lane, and it's weirdly narrow, that's because it was designed for sheep, not cars. A court was a dead end. A small enclosed yard surrounded by buildings on 3 sides. It was always a trap. A drive was a road used for driving cattle or other livestock to market. That scenic, winding drive through your neighborhood was once a dusty path for animals. And a street comes from the Latin word strata for a paved military road built to move armies fast. This history is still there baked into the language on the sign above you. You just have to look up. Number 4. The fake city townhouses. You've walked past them 100 times. Those fancy townhouses in big cities with nice doors, clean brickwork, and flowers in the window boxes. They look like someone rich lives inside. But nobody lives there. Nobody has ever lived there. Some of these buildings are completely hollow. No rooms, no floors, just a giant empty shell hiding a massive ventilation shaft for the subway or train tunnels underneath. Underground tunnels are long sealed tubes. All the heat and fumes from the trains need to escape. But a giant metal vent sticking out of the ground in a historic neighborhood would cause outrage. So instead, cities built fake buildings. Same brickwork as the real houses next door. Same style windows except they're painted black or bricked up from behind. Same front door except it opens into a shaft, not a hallway. London has several of these. There's one on Leinster Gardens that is so convincing. Taxis have pulled up waiting for passengers who don't exist. These fake houses sit right between 2 real ones, meaning the neighbors on either side are living next to a giant underground fan disguised as a home. Number 3. The color code of hospital wristbands. Those little plastic bracelets on hospital patients are not just for names. Every color is a message that could save a life or end it. Red means the patient has an allergy. Penicillin, latex, a certain type of surgical tape. Give that patient the wrong thing, and you've got a serious problem. Yellow means fall risk. That patient is likely to collapse if they try to stand up. Maybe they're on heavy medication or just frail. That yellow band is screaming, "Don't let this person walk to the bathroom alone." And then there's purple. Purple means do not resuscitate. That patient has decided that if their heart stops, nobody should try to restart it. No chest compressions, no electric shocks. Just let them go. That's a massive instruction on a tiny bracelet. It works because every single person on that hospital floor knows the code. Visitors walk past thinking nothing of it. Meanwhile, every nurse and doctor reads those colors instantly. Terrifyingly, the colors aren't fully standardized globally. A nurse transferring hospitals might have to relearn the entire system where one mistake could be fatal. Number 2. The hidden agenda in supermarket floor plans. The building of your grocery store was designed to drain your wallet. Essential items like milk, bread, and eggs are always placed at the very back on purpose. This forces you to walk past everything else to get what you need. You enter through the produce section, full of bright colors and fresh smells. This is called the decompression zone, designed to slow you down and make you feel good about buying healthy food. A relaxed, healthy, feeling shopper spends more. Then you get a cart, and the carts keep getting bigger because a bigger cart feels empty longer, and your brain genuinely gets uncomfortable when the cart looks too empty, so you fill it. The music is slowed down on purpose. Slower music makes you walk slower, which leads to more time in the store and more spending. One study found that slow music increased sales by 38%. The expensive brands are always at eye level. The store brands are on the bottom shelf, forcing you to look for them. And the checkout line is the final trap lined with candy and gum at the exact height a bored child will notice. The entire building is a machine designed by psychologists, and you walk into it willingly every week. Number 1. Subway platform trenches. Next time you're waiting for the subway, look down at the edge of the platform, right where the platform meets the tracks. There's a deep, hollow trench carved into the space underneath you. Most people stand right on top of it every day and never once look down. It's there for a very specific reason. If you fall onto the tracks and a train is coming, you have one option. Roll into that trench, flatten yourself against the back wall, and don't move. The train will pass directly over you. You will survive. Without that trench, you don't stand a chance. The trench, sometimes called a refuge bay or a suicide pit, is basically the subway's way of saying, we built this place knowing people would fall in. The clearance between the bottom of a train car and the track bed is much smaller than a human body, but the trench creates a survivable space. It's a life-saving feature built into the architecture of your daily commute. So, the next time you're standing on that platform, maybe take one step back from the edge. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.